Viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good day and welcome to another interesting episode of Bijit on Mikia TV, a show designed to look into the relationship between young people and religion in the 21st century. I'm your host, Umar Isa Dandago. My guest today is an engineer by profession and a journalist by passion, or let me just say by accident. Dr. Noura Mukwashi Maradin worked for the BBC when he was in the UK for his own advanced studies. He is now a lecturer at the Department of Chemical and Petroleum Engineering at Bayero University, Kano. Right now, we're not here to talk about his expertise, but we will talk a little bit about his passion for journalism and what drove him to work, for the BBC House Service when he was there in the UK. He is right now here with us in the studio to talk to us about the work that they have been doing in the UK as part of their movement to unite the Muslim Ummah in the UK there under the umbrella of Nigeria Muslim Forum, which is an affiliate of Muslim Council of Britain. Well, thank you very much indeed, Dr. Noura Mukwashi Maradin, for appearing on the show.
Thank you so much, Umar, and I thank you, Mikia TV, for hosting me today.
Yes. Yeah. All right, it's a pleasure. We're going to talk a lot about a lot of stuff here on the program, but briefly, who is Noura Mukwashi Maradin?
Noura Mukwashi Maradin is a PhD holder in chemical and petroleum engineering and an engineer by professions. I work with the Department of Chemical and Petroleum Engineering here in Bayero University, Kano. I have a degree in chemical process, PhD, in chemical process and energy engineering. My master's degree is in petroleum. My first degree in chemical engineering. I also have a diploma in chemical engineering.
Wow.
But diploma and degree was done here in Nigeria. My diploma in Poly from Kaduna University. I mean Kaduna Polytechnic.
Yes.
And then my first degree from the Federal University of Technology, Mina. My master's and PhD both in the UK.
Wow.
My master's in petroleum engineering from the University of Hereford University in Scotland, Institute of Petroleum. And my PhD, which was from 2016 to 2020, was done in London, in the UK.
Which university?
University of South Bank University.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
in the UK, in the central London.
So how, like, I'm kind of surprised, if not baffled.
Yeah.
How on earth could an engineer, somebody with an engineering background, end up working for the BBC? Purely journalistic work. Why did you do that? Why did you take that job?
As a graduate from Nigeria, I believe most of our graduates, even my student currently, I told them that if you really want to succeed, you must be multidimensional, multilateral, multitasking.
Wow.
I was trying to be like that.
Okay.
And I have passion for journalism, even though I'm an engineer. I mostly listen to BBC News, both in Hausa and in English version.
Yeah.
So when I found myself in London, London is a very expensive city.
Wow.
Even though my staying in London was basically based on a scholarship from the PTDF, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, sponsored by Nigeria.
Okay.
The scholarship is lucrative. There is a lot of money, but it's meant for you, not for you and the family. So when you are in London, meaning you need to struggle to survive. You need to find a way to meet with the target, accommodation, transportation, and so on and so forth. So I was lucky. I was open. I have this skill in me in meeting people.
Yeah.
So I met different people, and through there I met people that work with BBC, people that are close to the BBC personnel.
Yes.
And I was told with the opportunity of hiring a freelance staff, like a part-time job opportunity with the BBC. And I make myself available, and I went for an interview, and I got through, and I found myself reporting news, editing videos, and going on live for sport commentary, you know, so all these.
We could hear you together with Amin Abdul Qadir, commenting or making commentaries of Premier League matches on the weekends mostly. You're serving as the co-commentator while he was serving as the lead commentator. How fun was it?
It's an interesting job. I'm glad that I have got that opportunity.
Wow.
Because I think we are the first radio TV that have the opportunity to present live from the Wembley Stadium. Wow. Me and Aminu.
Wow.
All of that station are there,
yes.
because BBC is very big house.
Yeah.
It has different services.
Yes.
There is Swahili, there is Hausa, now there is Yoruba,
yes,
there is
Pidgin.
Igbo.
Yes.
So, but Hausa service are one of the key, services of the BBC.
Yeah.
And me and Aminu was selected as the first radio services from the African nations to report live from the Wembley Stadium. Yeah.
The stadium of Chelsea?
Wembley Stadium is the government stadium, the central stadium, the national stadium.
Oh, yes.
Is the one of the largest stadium in the UK.
Wow,
however, we have other that are now overtaken, like a stadium from the Tottenham. So it's one of the largest.
Wow, excellent. So personally, growing up, for example, did you have any interest in football, which probably catapulted you, if I could use this phrase, to join in Abdulkader Birchi in his own commentary, for example?
I'm a striker as a football. Excellent. I'm a fan of Chelsea, and I also follow a lot of live stream, entertainment, particularly sport. I love table tennis. I love wrestling and so on and so on. But I'm a fan of football and I play football. So these are the things that when I joined BBC, they try me, because when you're in BBC, basically, even if you're employed as journalist, they will try you in different areas.
Okay.
They will try you in the video editing version, reporting, newscasting, editing, and live commentary. Yeah. Wow. So when they see my fashion in football, they said, okay, Nura, we need you in this area as well. Yeah. So sometimes in the weekdays, I report live from the studio, and then in the weekend, I also report live from the studio for sport commentary. So this is what we do.
So normally it's like you go to the stadiums to report, or you record it in the studio? I mean, you do the commentary?
Yeah, it's both. It's both. Okay. Sometimes, if the match is a very strong match, so they basically allow us to visit the stadium directly. And sometimes we have a very big TV, that you can't. So sometimes we go. The video we see here in Nigeria, there is a delay, like some second even before the video we see there in the UK. So we have such opportunity to have a media that we watch directly and report. Most of the people that basically follow me through my social media handle, I think I share some pictures on my Instagram of how we report from the studio directly, and those ones that we report from the stadium live commentary.
Okay, before we move on to the main topic of the conversation, one last question about commentary. You and Amin Abdulkader, did you find yourself in a moment when you're, as a Chelsea fan, when you were commenting, making commentaries on a Chelsea match, and that it happened that Chelsea was defeated, were losing? How was your emotion?
Emotion is there, but you have to control it. Yeah. You are reporting something, but even though you're controlling your emotion, sometimes some people that knows you, they know at this point Nura is a little bit down, because something that he's supposed to be shouting on, or the way you shout on a goal, when you as a Chelsea fan scored a goal, you shout on it, but when someone scores you, there's a kind of low voice.
Okay. So the emotion sort of
but we have to we control it.
Does it control you, or you control it?
It has effect, but we try to control because of the work we do. Okay. As a journalist, you have to control your emotions.
I know BBC has this strong policy of impartiality and objectivity.
Yes.
This is something that most of the BBC journalists have been speaking about in their own
as a journalist, when the time we were employed, we even had to go a rigorous training. I think 3 months training as a freelancer. Even part-time job. They sponsor us. We went to the media house in Manchester. We spent days, weeks on undergoing rigorous training on to understand the BBC norms and values, to go on live streaming, to report live, so that you can be, they want you to have a change from what you stream local street media than this international media. So that's what they normally.
Very big business you got involved in. A lot of people respect the BBC for several reasons, even though There are others who are there.
Even though I have to
BBC,
mention
yes,
that
definitely.
even when I was in London, it's not only the BBC service I work with.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
did other
you know,
things?
I have to be honest with
Okay.
people. When you found yourself in the UK, people think you are sending money back home. You are just having a luxury life in the UK.
Pound sterling.
Pound sterling,
Yeah.
yeah. But honestly, before I got to that level of working with the BBC, I work as a security personnel.
Oh my God.
Honestly, security and a steward. You know, steward
Okay,
are those crowd control in the stadium.
Okay.
You know, when we are watching football, you see some personnel using some green strip clothes.
Okay.
They face the crowd. They are not watching football.
Yes.
So I work as a steward. And
So they are also security agents?
yeah, they are also security agents. But they all
serving
work
to control the
crowd and
in
report
case
to the
of-
police if there is anything that is beyond their
Because
control.
normally football sometimes is characterized with sort of mayhem, violence,
Yes.
especially when there are some problems
Yes,
here and
yes,
there.
yes, yes.
So you worked at that
As a steward. And then secondly, I work also as a security
security
guard
or police officer
security
or,
guard securing a particular plaza, let me use that statement,
yeah.
or securing a particular, you know, a cafe or any other area.
Wow.
Then from that transition of security, I went to work as also a cleaner per se.
Oh my God.
And then
here
from
in Nigeria, these two jobs, security and cleaner, are menial jobs that a lot of people, especially those who have degrees or masters, cannot afford
So
to
at
take
the
it.
time when I work as a cleaner, I have diploma, I have a degree, and I have a master. At that moment, I'm a PhD student.
Wow.
So you have to put down all your ego in order to succeed.
Definitely.
A successful person is someone who has gone through a lot of transition. You need to know the life is a transition.
Yes,
so you move from one step to another. And from there, from the security to cleaner, from cleaner to now working with BBC, and from BBC, and I got opportunity also to work with an organization as a consultant.
Wow.
I train people from Kuwait on oil and gas sectors, and I also work as a early paid lecturer with Coventry University.
Wow.
So all these are skills that
Dr.
I got
Ali
while I
Musa's
work.
University.
Yes, but they are Coventry University in London. London branch, because they have different schools. They have London branch and the campuses. Yeah, let me use that. So different campuses: the London campus and then the main campus is in Coventry.
Okay, excellent. So at the end of the day, let me phrase it this way: you started with menial jobs, so-called unimportant jobs.
Yes.
So-called.
That's based on Nigerian terminology.
That's why I put this.
Mentality.
In quote. And then you move up to a relatively expensive job, lucrative jobs, up to the highest paying job, for example, as a consultant and BBC journalist at the same time, and lecturer.
So basically, you know, the secret now is how to manage your time.
Yes.
As a PhD student, or whenever you are, if you are a student in the UK, you have this what we call 20 hours allowable working period.
Okay.
So you have 20 hours per work to work. I mean,
per week?
Per week to work. Yeah. So that 20 hours, it is you that will determine how you will manage your 20 hours. So you may likely exhaust your 20 hours even in a day.
Okay.
So BBC, basically, before I start with BBC, the work I did with at a steward. Steward is weekly or weekend jobs. So at the weekend jobs mostly is less than 10 hours. So you see, I still have 10 hours to remain. So I can now use that 10 hours to work as a security in either cafe or in the school security or any other place you found yourself. So you see, to balance the equation, then this is the two combined job I did. And when I got a BBC job, so BBC basically they can give me even more than 20 hours, but you as an individual, you know, you are limited to 20 hours, and they cannot give you up to more than 20 hours because the hours are there for you to grab, but you don't have access to it because you are limited to 20 hours. Definitely. So I work with BBC for 20 hours. Then towards the end of my PhD period, I found that an opportunity with Coventry University is something that has a direct relationship to what I did as a PhD student or as a PhD graduate by then, and it's on oil and gas. So I grabbed the opportunity. They gave me, I think, 20 hours, sometimes 10 hours. Then I now share it with BBC job in order to balance the equation. So this is how I work. And similarly, the consultancy service I work with a company from the Kuwait. I met this organization at one conference in Spain. After my presentation, they found out I live in London, and then we have this collaboration that, oh, we have some staff that normally visit London and they come for a workshop.
Yes.
Are you able to offer us some kind of hours so that you train our staff in London when they come for workshop? I make myself available. Excellent. And then they paid in dollars, and then we grab it. Unfortunately,
they paid huge.
They paid huge, but you know, as a Nigerian, whatever you got, we believe as a Muslim, whatever you got, you are giving such money not for your own consumption.
Definitely.
God sometimes open more opportunity for you because of the subordinate. You have so many families around you that you need to support. And then for you also to come and settle down when you come back to your country. So this is how I manage my life. So stressful, but Alhamdulillah, we enjoy our stay in London.
Okay, that's great. So this is a very, very important thing that we have started with a very comprehensive background. Now talk to us about the Muslim association that you have in the UK. What is it that you do? Because you served as a PRO, right?
No, I served as I started as a PRO, but later on I moved to the position of secretary.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is it all about? What should we know about it?
Yes, so Nigerian Muslim Forum UK is a charity organization, registered charity organization. Because in the UK, you can't just have an organization without registration. Even Nigeria now, that is how it is. Even if you have a business or business center, you have to register the business center. So Nigerian Muslim Forum UK is a charity organization registered in the UK. They specifically have a lot of responsibility. They have, they specifically design or have a focus. The focus is to unite the Nigerian Muslim. They have focus of unite Nigerian Muslim. And the welfare of the Nigerian Muslim in the UK is another focus of the Nigerian Muslim Forum. And the community cohesion, how they bring them together to have it as a family. And the to inculcate or promote the Islamic norms and values. This is what Nigerian Muslim Forum is all about in the UK.
So if you're not a Nigerian, you're not part of it.
There's many
somebody
organizations.
From Niger, somebody from Ghana, for example.
Yes, you are not part of it, but you can come for. Sometimes when we're having lectures, because we normally have weekend lectures, face-to-face lectures in the MAX. You see other people from other countries, because of our unity, they always love Nigerians. Wherever you see Nigerian, we represent, particularly when you have a good culture. So the because the lecture there is presented in English, so they basically participate. Even the Imam of London Central Mosque, mostly he joined our Talim to promote and to encourage some new members to see how much Nigerian Muslim Forum are contributing to the community of in the Britain. So the people from other countries, they have their own organization, and there is what we call a Muslim Council of Britain. So the Muslim Council of Britain is a organization that has different organizations. So all these Nigerian Muslim Forum, the forum from the Ghana, forum from, they are also affiliated to the Muslim Council of Britain. So this is how we work. So mostly Nigerian Muslim Forum, when you go to the UK, either as a business person or for a tourism or as a student, the Nigerian Muslim Forum is open to everyone. So it is you that will grab the opportunity and meet them. They are all available on social media. They have a Facebook handles, they have WhatsApp, Instagram, and other social medias that you can contact them. So when you are in the UK, you contact them and they will offer you a lot of support. Even as you present yourself in the UK, maybe, as you arrive in the UK, if you have the right contact, they can support you with accommodation, welfare, information that you needed. In terms of where to pray, where to meet halal food, and so on. These are the critical areas that are important for you as a Muslim. And mostly there is some area that are no-go area for some Muslims, because as a Muslim with good
Islamophobia?
Not Islamophobia, but you don't want to expose yourself to some kind of culture that will drag you to practice something that is not
that is haram.
Okay. So these are the things. As a Muslim, we also want to go close to people that are practicing Islam. There is area where we call North London. North London, most of them are Muslim. So that's why mostly, if you are a Nigerian, when you go to the UK, we advise you to get a house close to an area that is practically dominated by its Muslim community. So this is what we do as a community, Nigerian Muslim Forum. However, the community basically also presents itself in addressing common challenges of Nigerian community. So what we do here is that the Nigerian Muslim Forum are not only there to support the Muslim community in the UK.
Okay.
We support community in the UK. We support community when you arrive in the UK, either to source for rent for you, to direct you to a particular place, food. We organize a lot of activities in the UK, like weekly talim, face-to-face weekly talim, Eid celebration. That is one of the most interesting, activities I found.
After Ramadan.
Eid celebration, and even iftar. And when you have a newborn baby, you have a child, we organize a naming ceremony and a lot of things. So it's not only this we do in the UK. Even when you have challenges, I remember there is a student who has some issue with his university. Indirectly, we have to even sponsor a lawyer to be an intermediate to help him support his academic issues. Then back in Nigeria, Nigerian Muslim Forum is playing a lot of good, doing a lot of activities that have impact to the community in Nigeria.
Like sending money?
Yes, sending money. People? We normally contribute.
Our problems is money.
Our problem is money. Money is not the only problem. Policy, the government policy. Mostly we invite ministers, governors. Yes, if you follow our monthly talim that we do, Nigerian Muslim Forum, it has headquarters. Then we have branches in different cities. We have Nigerian
headquarters. London?
Yeah, no, it's not in London. So the headquarters is in Birmingham or Nottingham, one of the cities, depending on where the president is located. So
there is a rotation of power.
Yes, mostly. But however, each city has its own chapter. Like London, one of the most strongest chapter. So mostly we have monthly donation from people living in the UK, and during the Ramadan, we give this
iftar.
Apart from iftar, the kono, what do we call it? The
Zakatul
Fitr.
So towards the end of Ramadan.
So mostly we give Zakatul Fitr, and the money we collected there, we normally send it back to Nigeria.
I thought you were sharing it among yourselves.
No. Zakatul Fitr is not meant for that. So when you follow the teaching and the rules of Islam, you see where the Zakatul Fitr is given. So we normally do that, and we have some charity. Nigerian Muslim Forum is a charity organization.
Yes, you said charity organization.
So we build school. We contribute in sponsoring kids that have that are less privileged. We also organize iftar for people back in Nigeria here, and then for the people affected by any calamity, Boko Haram, banditry. So there is a kind of a department in Nigerian Muslim Forum that basically deals with such kind of things. And we also deliver lecture series. I believe most of you that follow me on my the Facebook, they will see monthly we organize lecture series to address some concern back home in Nigeria. Most of the concern that affect Nigeria in Nigeria is also affecting Nigerians in the UK.
Abroad,
they have direct connection, because if you are living with your family, wife and children in the UK, your mother, brother, or some cousins of yours are living in Nigeria. So we always have this kind of cohesion, together we can solve our problem. So what we do, just like the last lecture we have on Friday, on Sunday we have lecture. We invited Professor Mansour Sokoto and Sheikh Ibrahim, Sheikh Aminu Daurawa. We invite them to discuss about the benefit of giving food to needy.
Excellent.
But however, most of our lecture series, mostly 99% or 90% of it are delivered in Hausa, because the dominant people that listen to our lecture series are Hausas. However, there is some lectures If we look at the current happening, there is some lectures because of the interest from other people. Because Nigeria is not only Hausa that are Muslims. We have Yoruba, Igbo, and other tribes that are Hausa. We normally have a mixed, mixed delivery. English and Hausa combined together to deliver. So this is how we support our community.
The lecture series, are they virtual or physical? For example, the one that you had with Daurawa, did you sponsor him to go to the UK and deliver the lecture and then come back?
No, we didn't support. It's online lecture series through what we call Zoom. However, we have also a seminar and workshop and conferences. Even recently, last month, we have our annual conferences. Even we invite governors, Sultan of Sokoto, and other prominent in Nigeria, vice presidents, the ex-presidents that have former presidents. Most of our lectures.
So when you invite those politicians that were once in power, leading one position or the other, occupying one political position or the other, do you normally grill them, ask them tough questions on how to take care of their own people and how to fulfill the promises they have taken?
You know, the issue is you can't force someone to do something, but you can tell him the right thing to do. You give him advice based on the Islamic conjunction, based on the promise he took. He swear with the Quran, so you do that, and then you support him. You know, most of these governments, what I learned from as a leader, when you are a leader, it's not the capacity you have alone; it's the capacity to bring good people around you. Some of these leaders are good; they have genuine intention to serve the people, but unfortunately, they are surrounded with negativity, negative people, and that is why things are not going the way it is. So mostly, we give them some free, advice, support that will definitely have an impact to our community. So this is what we do, and we also encourage them to donate to the charity organization of the UK, and even currently we are trying to build a mosque in London, and we are still building a lot of money to make sure that a mosque and a worshiping center is being built for our community. Right now we are using the London Central Mosque to achieve all these aims.
Finally, do you have enough mosques, for example, Khamsa Salawat mosques in the UK?
Honestly, this is the most interesting thing that I have ever seen. When someone is going to London and I found that he come back as a drug addict, I was surprised.
Oh my God.
Particularly when I visited the area, I said, wow, how did he find himself in this kind of situation? Because when you are in London, particularly where I live, a distance of some meters, you see a mosque.
Wow.
A distance from 1 meter to another, there is a mosque. And there is a lot of opportunity and avenue that basically will bring you together close to God. However, I think those that have been affected by their lifestyle, I think is because the parents are making a wrong decision. Most of them,
because
that have been affected
was like, would you advise parents to send their children to Europe, particularly to the UK?
It depends. For me, I haven't done my undergraduate there, but I have experience seeing some people that have gone through a lot of this process to obtain their degree in the UK. My in-law, my brother-in-law, two of them, they did their degree in the UK. So they come back peacefully without their characters are very intact without any change. But
what are part of the Muslim Council?
When they were there, when they did their degree there, basically I'm not even there. But what I believe is, I can't definitely advise people to take their children there. But particularly for postgraduate studies. However, for undergraduate studies, yes, I can still advise them, but they have to take precautionary measures. One of the precautionary measures is, you are sending your kids as a politician or businessman to the UK. You must make sure you make the necessary research, contact. Which is the best school to send my kids in the UK? You're sending your son to London. You just, browse, there is Institute of Petroleum, or there is Imperial College in London. Let me just send my child there. You just book accommodation. Everything is there available for you to book. That is very, very wrong.
Wow.
You need to make a contact. Get some advice for people living in the UK. There is some area in London that is not good for a Muslim brother to live in. Even though some people can live there and be successful. There is some people, they will advise you, this is your child, what kind of course that do you want him to study? He can advise you, why don't you take him to Nottingham or Birmingham? Those are cities that practically there is dominant Muslim there. And even in London, but even in London, you can send your kid, but there must be a contact that will help you to monitor these children for you. And also the area your child is going to live is very, very important. Nobody to tell your child not
to
do this or
there are no do's and don'ts.
There's no do and don't there.
Oh.
The only do's and don'ts is when you break their law.
Oh, yes.
But if you are going to humanize, if you are going to drink, nobody will chase. Even if someone, let's say your father comes to the UK and said you are drinking, he can't fight you. You can take your father to the
to the court,
to the authority that is interfering in your personal life. But when you have control over him from the initial stage, you will have a successful child coming back to your home. But this is the things that basically people need to understand. And we have most of this. That is why Nigerian Muslim Forum is there for people to contact. There is other problem. There is other NASPAT is there for Yoruba people.
Yes.
When I went to the UK, firstly, you know, this is the things I do.
Yes.
First thing that I do when I go to a country, I will first look at the community, Muslim community.
Yes.
Because I know these are they have direct contact to my life.
Yes, definitely.
So first thing I look for, where are the houses in London? Where are the houses? I have experience living in Scotland because I did my master's there. But now in London is different city. So where are the houses? One thing, somebody took me to a house lady. Unfortunately, she married a Yoruba. Not unfortunately. She married a Yoruba man.
Amazingly.
Amazingly, she married a Yoruba guy. And she took me to NASPAT. NASPAT are dominantly 99% are Yoruba.
Yes.
So then I found that Yoruba has different culture from Hausa.
Yes.
They are Muslim, practically practicing your religion very well.
Yes, definitely.
But their culture is different from me.
Yes.
Then I keep digging, and on the way around, I found Nigerian Muslim Forum. And I, you know,
penetrated. Yes.
After penetrating, I become the PRO. From the PRO, I become the secretary. Even when I was in Nigeria, I'm still their secretary. However, recently, because of the time challenge, I don't have much time, so many commitments in Nigeria.
A lot of responsibility.
So I had to resign my position, and someone took over who is in London to give more contribution.
Wow.
These are the things we do.
There's a lot to be discussed and analyzed. Unfortunately, time is not by our side. But we're hoping that one day we will get you back in the studio to talk more about, especially one angle that we've not touched, the issue of mentorship. You have been to the UK and you know the value of mentorship. And that is what we lack here in Nigeria.
Honestly.
So we will definitely have an episode to look at the significance of mentorship, not only to students but to the generality of the people. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Nura Mokwashe Maradu, for being on the show. What can you say about the interview? Finally.
I'm so amazing having Mikia TV here in the Kano, because there's so many TV, but it's one of the unique one I have found. It's an online TV, and when I came, I was surprised. They have a big studio and very interesting editors. So you keep it up, and I know God is with you. Particularly, you are doing something that have a positive impact to the community, and Allah will uplift this TV to the highest level. May Allah continue to bless us.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Nura Mokwashe, for being on the show, and we're looking forward to having you again next time. Yeah, listener, viewers, on behalf of everyone that has contributed to the production of the show, the producer and the editor, the cameraman, and everyone on the crew. My name is Umar Isa and Hussein. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'll see you very soon.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.